Hi Mel, thank you for meeting with me today to discuss William and the assessments that I've conducted to track his development in particular areas. Throughout observations, I've noticed that 7-year-old William tends to be overall a generally happy, relaxed and cooperative boy. He is a curious and inquisitive child for his age and for his development. I've noticed William is interested in physical play such as kicking and throwing a ball. He enjoys playing with others in social interactions through gameplay. I have found that William also has a love for books and I often find him reading chapter books as his reader for school. Does he often read at home?
Yeah, we read every night.
Good. Based on observations from Will's laughter, high levels of activity and joyful nature, I've been able to classify Will's temperament as extroversion according to my research. However, I have noticed through some observations he can become easily agitated and somewhat emotional in certain stressful situations, such as gameplay with others. In saying this, development in this area is ongoing and will continue to emerge as he further develops social skills, experiences, and relationships with others. As Will likes to read and write short stories, I've noticed his speech and language development is tracking exceptionally well. I find he uses adult-like sentence structures and language in conversation with me, such as using greater descriptive adjectives and adverbs. Recently, I was able to conduct authentic assessment based on Will's interest of reading and emerging development of social skills within his socio-cultural context. Authentic assessment is an important aspect of education because it focuses on understanding learning within the context that it occurs. This can be done by using familiar materials, conducted over time, and with multiple sources of evidence. I used the authentic assessment mechanisms of observation and running records to do this. This allowed me to assess Will's learning in a meaningful way where he was comfortable and knew what was going to happen within the assessments. For the area of emerging social and emotional development, I used the assessment of observation. I observed Will playing with Lego with his two brothers. They were taking in turns building and creating objects with the pieces. One of the boys had a piece that William wanted. He began to get upset and continued to lose control of his emotions. His behaviour he was choosing towards his brothers was unfavourable for the play to continue. The situation escalated, which then needed to be resolved by intervention of a supervisor. Through this observation, I can see the inclusion of educational programs and further support from educators would benefit Will's growth and development in this area. My proposal for Will's learning will be to implement strategies across the curriculum and strengthen his areas of interest and emerging development. For Will's personal and social capability, I referred to the Victorian curriculum for guidance. For Will's future learning of social and emotional development, I will be implementing the Resilience, Rights and Respectful Relationships program provided by the Department of Education and Training. This can help develop future social and emotional positive relationship skills for Will. In conjunction with this, a lunchtime program or inside play will be implemented where he can practice his sharing skills and getting along through gameplay with other children. As an educator, it is my role to support and scaffold Will's learning in these areas. In terms of scaffolding, this is an effective strategy where a more knowledgeable other, such as an educator, myself, a peer or an adult, is able to improve a child's learning. Through this process, I refer to one of the governing educational frameworks, such as the Early Years Learning Framework, as a guide to support this learning for Will. To improve on Will's social and emotional development, my role in scaffolding his learning through modelling communication strategies to support Will in play and social experiences. Doing this can provide ways to help Will sustain relationships with other children. By referring to the Early Years Learning Framework, it suggests children learn care, empathy and respect through interactions with others. By scaffolding and encouraging play experiences, this will assist in Will's emerging social and emotional development. The other area I focused on with Will was his language development, as he is exceeding in his reading and speech. I utilised the assessment mechanism running records to assess his reading skills and determine what level of reading he's at. Will began to read Ninja Kid 4 while I used a blank piece of paper to mark the words and used the symbols to record the findings of the assessment. His first attempt at the assessment showed that the book was a simple read for him, as he was able to complete the assessment with little to no errors. To further test his level of reading, I conducted another running record using a different book at a slightly higher level of reading. William read the chapter book, Captain Underpants, for the second assessment. The assessment showed that this was a good fit book for him, as he was still able to read fluently, however required assistance on some words. The assessment has provided me with information on what I can further do to extend Will's language skills. To further Will's interest and skills of reading and overall language development, the Victorian curriculum provides a guideline on what Will should learn for future progress. This can include recognising most letter and sound matches, including silent letters, common long vowels, and understanding that a sound can be represented by various letter combinations, to name a few. To do this, I will introduce reading strategies within the classroom that Will can implement throughout his daily reading. For example, strategies such as flippy dolphin to change a vowel sound and stretchy snake to slowly stretch each letter sound to make the word. For Will's language development, scaffolding can be used to communicate unknown words, pronunciation and meaning. For example, if Will gets stuck on a word, I could assist in helping him find the right word. I can also scaffold this learning by talking explicitly about letter concepts such as sounds when reading. Will's ability to interact verbally and non-verbally with others links to the early years learning framework through outcome 5, children are effective communicators. This framework also suggests that children engage with a range of texts, which explains Will's engagement with books to support Will's love of reading. I can provide a range of different texts such as novels, newspapers, song lyrics, and comics around the classroom. So for Will's future learning outside the classroom, I could suggest a few things that Will would benefit from while at home to further his learning in these areas. For his social skills, things such as discussing respectful relationships with Will at home. This could involve reading books with him. Some good ones I've found are In My Heart and I Am Human, and a book on empathy, and The Very Hungry Worry Monsters. I have a few of them here for you to take home if you'd like.
Excellent.
I can also provide take-home activities or games we do in class that allow for learning social skills with his brothers. For Will's reading, I could offer a range of books and other reading materials for him to take home from school. I can provide take-home reading exercises for you and Will to discuss and complete together as well. In saying all this, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?
So with the reading strategies, when he's reading at home and if he's having difficulties, how can I help him with his reading?
Yeah, so I can laminate some bookmarks that has the strategies that we do in class that you can read with Will.
Oh, that'd be great.
Great.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for seeing me to discuss William today. With these strategies put in place, William's future development within these areas will continue to succeed.
Excellent.